Happy Wednesday, everyone. And if you're not looking at this on Wednesday, today, December 7th, I want to wish you well. And I want to thank you for taking the time to look at this video, whether live or whether in afterwards, right? I am Sandra L. I am a board certified patient advocate. And I do on Wednesdays, I do educational Wednesdays. Not only am I a board certified patient advocate, but I am also the author of Your Personal Health Planner and Journal. In addition, I am also a managing partner of MediHelps LLC and the founder of CHOM's MediHelps Foundation. And once again, every Wednesday I come to you and I bring you information that you as a patient need to have. Why is it? Because patient education being one of the pillars of the CHOM's MediHelps Foundation and of MediHelps LLC, it's important that all patients are fully aware of that health literacy that is so often lost on a sector of our population. And I forgot to tell you, I'm also a patient. I have a chronic condition. I actually have two. But instead of me taking the diagnosis that I was given as a chronic patient, I turned it and flipped it, and I saw the glass as half full. There was so much that I had to do, that I wanted to do, that I said, let me stop procrastinating, which is the word of the day, and get it done. So let's go to the word of the day, procrastination. You know what? Like I said, today is December 7th. Yesterday, we all, and this does not have anything to do with, whether someone is Republican or Democrat, what I'm going to say. This has everything to do with what occurred to get us all, or most of us, on the edge of our seats. In the conversations that I've had with my friends and my family who live in Georgia or are from Georgia, the one thing that I heard reverberating throughout all of those conversations was the process of procrastination. People, we've got to stop. We can no longer continue procrastinating. We have to, say, hey, enough of this. Enough of this procrastination. Procrastination, when it comes to healthcare and the health system, procrastination is what has gotten us where we are right now, which is not very far at all. Procrastination is what has us sitting in the emergency rooms instead of, being able to say, hey, let me call a 24-hour to 24/7 nurse line, or let me go to urgent care, or any other options that are available to us. We got to stop, people. We've got to stop. We got to stop procrastinating. Let's get it done. As I was looking at my news stories for today, a couple of things came to mind. Today is December 7th. You're like, okay, Sandra, you done told us that 2 times already. Girl, why you keep saying December 7th? Because it is the end of open enrollment for our population of people, whether it's elderly or whether it's because of a medical condition, that have Medicare. And please stop telling me when I ask you, when you say you're on Medicare and I ask you what kind of Medicare you have, you tell me, I don't know, I just got the red, white, and blue card. That is not the type of Medicare you have. It is important that you know why, why you have Medicare, right? It's important you know, right? Not so much why you have Medicare, but it's important that you know what Medicare you have. Just because you have a red, white, and blue card does not mean that you have Medicare, the original Medicare, where it's an 80-20, where you got Part A and Part B and Part D, Part C, whatever. It's not. And you really need to know what you have. Normally, I do these videos in the evening, but because of the importance of the message of procrastination, especially for our Medicare population, I had to do it in the afternoon because I'm like, I got to get to these people before the CMS office closes, before their health plan closes, before their doctor's office closes. I got to get the message out. And so I'm hoping that if you're watching this, and maybe you're watching this and you're watching it and it's not, the offices haven't closed and you still have time. People, please stop procrastinating. Go ahead and handle your business when it comes down to knowing what kind of Medicare you have, knowing what's in that Medicare plan, knowing that your doctors are in that plan. If not, there's some penalties that you may have to face. And I'm not sure about you, but I know me. I don't like giving money away just because I forgot to do something. So we're going to stop procrastinating about Medicare and getting it done, because tick-tock, the clock is ticking. And if it's 2:00 in Chicago, where I am, it's 3:00 on the East Coast. And some other states, it might just be 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. But get it done today if you are a Medicare recipient. Pick your plan. Make sure your doctors are enrolled. Make sure your medicine for next year is covered. Please, let's get it done. Let's stop procrastinating. The next thing I want to ask you is, as I'm looking at my news stories that come across my desk, what I'm seeing is hospitals are closing, right? Hospitals across the country are faced with the financial thing where they have to close. Doctors' they're leaving their practice. They're so fed up with the healthcare system. They're leaving their practices. They're like, we're retiring. If you haven't seen your doctor in about 5 years and you get sick and you need to see a doctor, and that doctor that you need to see is, you're like, okay, well, I can call Dr. Smith. I saw Dr. Smith like 5 years ago, right? You call Dr. Smith, it's a good chance that Dr. Smith has retired. Where do you go for your medical records? Who has your medical records? Who knows your history? You got to start all over again because you don't know. You can't remember where it was. You don't know, how it became. You really don't know. People, let's stop procrastinating. Let's make those calls. Let's see, hey, if St. Mary's Hospital closes and I've been a patient there and I need my medical records, where can I go to get my medical records? Now, someone that's trained in the field, such as myself, I can tell you where to go to get your medical records, because by law, they have to be made available to you. But, do you know me? Do I know you? Do you, talk to me? Have you sent me an email? Have you done anything? Do you have anybody in your life that you might be able to turn to and say, hey, you know what? St. Mary's closed and I need my medical records, especially our young ones, right? Are those at 18 to 26? Share this with them, please, because they'll need that information perhaps for a job. And they won't be able to get it because they don't know. And the hospital closed. And oops, you didn't know because you stopped going to the hospital. You stopped going to the doctor. So you had no idea that Dr. Smith's office closed. You don't know why. You don't know where. You don't know who you can turn to. Even if you only go to the doctor for a routine screening or a physical, you need to go to the doctor. Just so you can have your finger on the pulse. If that doctor decides to close, you need to, be at the, on the hospital website trying to see what's going on. Like, are they in trouble? Is something going on that I need to know about? Nobody, absolutely nobody's coming to save you. Now, you might be able to get in touch with me and say, Sandra, where can I go? Where can I find this information out? You need to know. Stop procrastinating. Procrastination hurts you, because when Dr. Smith retires, those people who are actively in Dr. Smith's Dr. Smith's database as being current patients, well, they'll probably know. But if you haven't seen Dr. Smith in 5 years, when he closes, you're not gonna know. This is your health. This ain't their health. This is your health. And with the healthcare system in such a messed up disarray right now, you need to be doing all you can to ensure that you had the proper steps, the proper places to go to get your health information, so that should you need it, you have it. So that should you need it or anybody else need it, you know where to go to get it. If you retroactively try to do this stuff, no telling what might happen. And once again, I do these Educational Wednesday videos because I care, because I don't have to do them. As a matter of fact, I could be eating lunch right now, but I was like, let me come on here because you know what? We got to do better, people. We just really have to do better. Another word about procrastination. Do you know your health history? Like, really know your health history. Do you know what your family's health history? And for those of you who are saying, you know what, Sandra, I'm adopted, and I don't know, my mom and my dad, I'm adopted. So when you say family health history, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. Family health history, while it's important that you do know and you have written down somewhere the history of your mom and dad, your biological mom and dad, your grandparents, aunties, uncles, while it's important for you to have that, is just as important for you to know what is your historical background. If you're African American, you can go to Google and do a Google search and find out health conditions in the African American community. If you're Irish, same thing, health conditions in the Irish community. We all have a cultural history background, a cultural family history background that's important for us to know. Why? Because it can uncover some things that we had no idea about. Many times, and many people with COVID and long COVID, not all, but many, are stemming with these issues, are stemming from underlying conditions that we didn't know about, we don't know about, but we need to know about. It's important for us to proactively understand what it's about. That proactive work, it will take us so many places. And for our health, and for the community's health, and for the family's health, it's important that we be proactive about our health concerns, our health needs. We really need to be proactive, right? We can't. No longer can we sit on the sideline and wait for things to happen. We've passed that point. We have to do better. We can no longer sit on the sidelines and wait for health policies and procedures to change, to make a difference in our lives. The only people that can make that happen is us, you and I, and everybody around us, whether you're a patient or not. You know a patient. I can guarantee you know a patient. And I'm not breaking this down and saying, well, physical, mental, whatever. You know a patient. You are in that patient's life. Be of some good use and go about setting up proactive steps to make sure that they're taken care of. And before I leave the video for today, one other piece on proactive health is, do you know where your HIPAA forms are? Are they signed? Do they have a timeline on them? Is your HIPAA form that you have on file going to be good 5 years from now? You don't know? I'd suggest you go look. What about your healthcare proxy? And once again, if you have someone in your life that's 18 years of age or older, you need to be having these talks with them. What about your healthcare proxy? Do you have one? Do you even know what one is? Come on, people, let's do better. Do you have a will? If it applies, do you have a trust? These are all things that you need to be proactively doing now and handling now, so that in the future it's already done, right? Let's stop, waiting. Look, like I said at the start of this video, December 6th should have never happened, right? When the election was over, it should have been over. But because of procrastination, it got us to where we was at on December 6th. We got another election coming up in 2024. I don't care who you vote for. I just want you to vote. I don't care, what your outlook is. I just want you to vote. I want you to vote. I want your friends to vote. I want your family to vote. Whoever's eligible for voting, let's get it done so that in 2024, because we were proactive in 2022 and 2023 and 2024, we can go through the whole election cycle without a hit, without any carryovers, without any of this disillusion. Proactive. The word for today is proactive. If there is any part of your life that you know that you need to be taking proactive movements on, please do so. If you need to talk, if you want to reach out and you're like, hey, Sandra, you know what, I have some questions that I want to ask you. How can I reach out to you to ask you these questions? Please feel free. www.medihelps.com. Once again, MEDIHELPZ.com. You can send an email to contact us at medihelps.com. For those of you who are in the Medicare population, please reach out today. The deadline is today to www.medicare.gov to get the information you need to get in order for you to proactively be able to take part in the healthcare system in 2023. And for those of you who are getting your medicine, getting your medical care, or I should say your health insurance from the marketplace, aka Obamacare, please reach out to www.healthcare.gov so that you can know, because Medicaid in the marketplace is a state-run program, so that you can know what you need to know to re-enroll in, or make any changes in your marketplace plan. Please, I beg you. And then finally, if you want additional information and you're looking for a place to go where you can share your voice and where you can learn, what's important to patients, and, add your own comments and add your own thoughts, please reach out to the Patient's Voice by Chom's MediHelps Foundation Facebook group. Until when I come to you again with an educational tip, please do have the rest of a good day, wherever day you're listening to this on, or a good night if you're listening to this at night. For Sandra L., that is it for today, December 7th. Love you much. And thank you so much for taking time to listen to this important video. Let's get it done, people. Let's stop procrastinating.